Let me ask you a question. Have you ever sent a message, waited, stared at your phone, watched the clock, and got nothing back? No reply, no effort, just silence. You keep checking, hoping, wondering, maybe even doubting yourself. Did they see it? Are they busy? Did I say something wrong? And yet, despite the coldness, despite the lack of response, there's this overwhelming urge inside you to text again. Maybe you want to explain yourself. Maybe you're looking for some form of closure, or maybe you just want to feel something from them, anything that proves you still matter. But here's the truth, and it's one most people don't want to hear. Welcome back to Mindful Stoicism, where we focus on mastering emotions, detaching from what we cannot control, and reclaiming inner peace. Now listen carefully. The moment you chase, you lose power. The moment you send that follow-up text, that second message, you are silently telling them, my time, my value, my energy, it's all yours. You don't even have to respect it, and I'll still give it away. You might think reaching out again will bring clarity, closure, or maybe even spark a response, but in reality, it chips away at your dignity, your self-respect, and your peace of mind. That's why I'm telling you right now, never text them again. Trust me. In this video, we'll break down the Stoic philosophy behind this silence, why it's not weakness, but strength, and how your refusal to chase will send a louder, more powerful message than words ever could. Let's dive into why detachment is your greatest power, and how walking away without a word speaks volumes they cannot ignore. 1. You teach people how to treat you. Every interaction you have with someone sends a message, not just through your words, but through your actions, your boundaries, and what you allow. When someone ignores your message, takes hours or days to respond, or gives you minimal effort, and you still continue to chase them, text them, or seek their attention, you are silently teaching them that it's okay to treat you that way. You are showing them that your standards are flexible, and that you will tolerate disrespect. People are observant. They notice how much effort you're putting in versus how much they're giving back. And if they realize that you're willing to accept crumbs of attention, they'll never feel the need to give you the full loaf. Why? Because you've shown them they can get away with it. Stoicism teaches us to take full ownership of our actions and to understand that we set the tone for how others engage with us. If you consistently prioritize someone who rarely thinks about you, you are valuing them more than you value yourself. And they will notice that imbalance. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate, by how quickly you respond, by how much of yourself you give away without receiving anything in return. When you stop texting them, when you stop giving them unearned access to your time and energy, you're teaching them something else. You're showing them that you respect yourself, and that if they want to be in your life, they need to step up. Self-respect is not about arrogance or ego. It's about understanding that you are not an option. And anyone who treats you like one does not deserve your presence. Let your silence set the boundary. Let your absence teach the lesson. 2. Your value grows in your absence. When you're always available, always the first to text, always ready to respond at a moment's notice, you become predictable, easy, familiar, and sadly, in human psychology, familiarity often breeds indifference. Think about it. When something is always within reach, we tend to take it for granted. We don't value it as much because it's always there. There's no sense of urgency, no fear of loss, no need to work for it. But the moment you pull back, when you stop chasing, stop explaining, and stop offering your time freely, that's when everything changes. Your silence creates space, and in that space, you become a mystery. They start to wonder where you went, why you're not reaching out, whether you've moved on or found someone else. This uncertainty forces them to reflect on your worth, because now there's a void where your presence used to be. Absence triggers curiosity, and curiosity leads to value. Text. Stoicism teaches us that we must be willing to walk away to maintain our self-respect, that we must detach from seeking validation from others and instead focus on our own growth. By removing yourself, you are not punishing them, you are reclaiming your worth. You're showing that your energy is not something to be taken lightly. Your absence is not emptiness, it's power. It's the quiet reminder that you're not someone to be ignored or disrespected. So step back, stay silent, and let your absence do the talking. Because in that silence, they will start to feel your value and miss it. 3. Closure comes from within, not their reply. Let's talk about closure, the thing so many people seek at the end of a connection, especially when things are left unsaid, unclear, or unresolved. You might find yourself thinking, if they would just reply, if they would just explain, if I could just get answers, then I could finally move on. And so you wait. You send one more message. You check your phone constantly, hoping for a response that never comes, or worse, a reply that brings more confusion than clarity. But here's the truth most people struggle to accept. Closure is not something someone else gives you. It's something you give yourself. Stoicism teaches us to focus only on what we can control: our own thoughts, our actions, and our mindset. You can't force someone to respond. You can't make them care, explain, or offer the peace you crave. And the more you seek closure from someone who is unwilling or incapable of providing it, the more you give away your power. The real closure comes when you decide to stop looking outward and turn inward. It's when you understand that their silence is an answer. It's when you accept that not all situations will end neatly, and not all people will offer you the respect or explanation you deserve. And that's okay. You don't need their permission to move on. You don't need their words to find peace. What you need is the strength to say, I accept what is, I let go of what was, and I refuse to be held hostage by unanswered questions. In doing so, you free yourself. That is closure, not in their reply, but in your decision to move forward with or without it. 4. The power shift. They feel your absence deeply. Here's what most people don't realize. Your absence is not invisible. In fact, it's louder than any message you could send. When you stop texting, stop calling, and stop giving them access to your time and energy, something begins to shift. At first, they may not notice. Maybe they're used to your attention, your availability, your constant presence. But slowly, that silence starts to echo in their mind. They begin to notice the gap, the missing notification, the lack of your name lighting up their screen. And with that absence comes uncertainty, a sense of discomfort they can't quite explain. People often expect that you'll always be there, that they can reply when it's convenient, that your patience is unlimited. But when you step back without a word, you disturb their sense of control. You interrupt the pattern they've taken for granted. And this is where the power shift happens. They begin to wonder, did you move on? Are you done chasing? Did they lose you? That uncertainty becomes powerful. Your silence challenges their ego. It forces them to reflect on their own actions or lack thereof. Suddenly, the person who was always available has become unavailable. That scarcity makes your presence more valuable in their eyes. This isn't about playing games. It's about recognizing your own worth and refusing to keep investing where there's no return. You don't need to beg for attention. You don't need to remind them you exist. Your absence will do that for you. And in that silence, they feel your power. Because true influence doesn't come from chasing. It comes from stepping back and letting them feel what life is like without you. 5. The Stoic mindset. Let go to gain control. The essence of the Stoic mindset is simple, yet powerful. Let go of what you cannot control and focus entirely on what you can. In relationships, this becomes a guiding principle that can save you from emotional chaos. You cannot control how someone feels about you. You cannot control their actions, their replies, or their choices. But what you can control is how you respond, how you carry yourself, and most importantly, when to walk away. Letting go does not mean you don't care. It means you care more about your peace than about forcing outcomes. It means you choose to step away from situations that drain your energy, from people who do not value your presence, and from patterns that keep you stuck. By holding on, by constantly reaching out, by waiting for their validation, you surrender your power. But the moment you let go, the moment you stop chasing, you gain control, not over them, but over yourself. Stoicism teaches us that emotional freedom is born from discipline. Discipline to remain calm when provoked. Discipline to stay silent when words are wasted. Discipline to walk away when respect is no longer given. When you truly adopt this mindset, their silence no longer hurts you, it liberates you. You stop seeing detachment as loss and start seeing it as growth. Growth into a version of yourself that doesn't beg, doesn't chase, and doesn't need constant reassurance. Letting go allows you to reclaim your time, your dignity, your self-worth. And in that space, you find something they could never give you: inner peace. That's real power. That's the Stoic way. Control begins the moment you release the need to control others. Never text them again, trust me. Silence is not empty. It's full of your strength, your growth, your healing. Let them feel your absence. Let them wonder. Let them chase. And you move on. You level up. You embrace peace. That's Stoicism. That's power. And that's how you win, not by texting, but by detaching. If this message hit home, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and powerful relationship insights. Comment below. I choose peace if you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting. This is mindful Stoicism, where strength is silent but undeniable.